To quote a person, I'm going to quote a book about a person named Oppenheimer. Page 23, it's called Brighter Than a Thousand Suns. Oppenheimer was regarded as the father of the atomic bomb, which is one of the crudest, most clumsiest ways to use such divinely inspired technology. Anyway, it said that although Oppenheimer made a lot of money in Germany after moving to Germany from the U.S. at age 17, he was able to make a lot of money. He was unable to continue his studies without his professors writing him recommendations for him to take his exams before he could run out of money, which apparently was not the case, as discovered later. But it turns out that if he was not able to continue his studies, and he was in time endowed with the ability to produce fantastic works of art, such as whatever led to the atomic bomb, such as whatever led to atomic theories necessary to create the atomic bomb, for instance, which is one of the worst uses for any such technology I could imagine. Then in that case, then there wouldn't have been no such esteemed physicist named Oppenheimer. Which means that the amount and concentration of genius that comes in and comes out of your universities, and the amount of genius you're able to cultivate and train and produce and allocate to the various fields of wherever that genius would be necessary, is stunted directly by your accounting procedures, which has been a serious problem for several years. For example, I have this idea here. It is called Detecting True North in Low Magnetic Visibility. So I'm going to start detecting true north in low magnetic visibility. So I have the circular craft here. For all intents and mathematical purposes, the craft is circular. And I have a non-circular haze of I don't know, something made out of iron. Magnetic iron that's producing static, and it's producing magnetism, and it's all sorts of nonsense, all sorts of things going on here. And on this ship, he has a simple compass, which will point directly to the direction with the strongest B level. Right. Given this magnet here that I'm going to indicate as this cylinder, electrons flow from negative to positive at a given B level. So if we were to graph this, we were to see that the needle follows the direction the electrons are heading. The electrons are heading at a given rate of incidence. At a given rate of incidence. So to measure that, we have a compass dial of many different layers, and each of these layers are tuned to different strengths. So the biggest one would have the highest strength and would move the slowest. The biggest one would have the lowest strength and would move the fastest. And the smallest one would have the highest strength and move the slowest. Right, so I have this box, right, and these rings are concentric outward. And these are the strengths of the springs. The outermost wheel has the shortest spring. The innermost wheel has the thickest spring, the thinnest spring, and the thickest spring. So when this spring matrix is connected to a power source of electrons moving from positive to negative, the magnetic flux flowing through the wheel is being interfered with by these springs at different rates, and therefore whether the wheels turn back or forward indicates the direction of the magnetic field, the direction vector of the magnetic field, and you can use this direction vector to determine where the field is actually moving, so that the innermost wheel will maintain the most truest north that it can, and that the compass can, and the bigger wheel can obtain the fastest magnetic force acceleration of it moving in a given direction. A simple solution to the problem where you can't train as many scientists as you could without those accounting procedures is that when a person has an idea, he should be able to check with a body of reputable knowledge that can verify whether his or her ideas are commensable and they should be to be able to process or examine these ideas and return the results so that that person may gain merit for that idea, and then they may move forward to a next given body for the reproduction of this idea and application of this idea and propagation of this idea with respect to the person that came up with the idea. Of course, if a person never truly comes up with an idea, then surely them presenting it would still be meritable for that person.